Okay, students, if you're in here for the art project to type your haiku poem for Mr. Robbins, this is what I need you to do. You're going to go down on the dock and you're going to find pages. It's the little piece of paper with the pencil and the yellow strip across the top. You're going to go ahead and open up pages. You're going to go down to the bottom of the left-hand side of your screen, down to where it says My Templates. You're going to click on My Templates. And then you're going to decide which one of these you need. I know for the hallway, this is the one that most of you are going to need, so we're going to go ahead and start with this one. You're going to click on it and then hit Choose. And already it's given you a box for you to type your haiku poem in. We're going to do just what it said. Right here where it says Type Poem here, I'm going to begin typing my poem. Once I've typed in my poem, I'm going to type in my name. You want to try and use correct punctuation, so it was the beginning of a sentence up here at the top with the word A, so I capitalized the and of course I'm going to capitalize my name. At the end of each line, I just hit return to get to the next line. Once I've got my poem typed in, I'm going to highlight backwards, and that allows me to select my font. And from here, I'm going to decide what kind of font style I want, what kind of text do you want your poem to look like. I'm going to go ahead and pick one. I'm also going to make my font larger so that it fills my text area. So I'm just going to begin by clicking right here on the up arrow, and it begins making my font larger and it begins to fill the box. Now, because of this one line, if you have a line that's longer than the others, you may end up with some empty area right down here below your space provided, and we want to fill that area. So an easy way to spread the lines apart is going to be right down here on the right side of your screen, right here where it says spacing. If you see this little arrow pointing towards the word spacing, if you click on that arrow, it opens up a little window and you'll see lines, and right next to that you're going to see a box with a 1 and an up and a down arrow. You're going to click on the up arrow and notice that it spread my lines apart. Now 1.2 is about as big as it can go and still see all of my text in my box. So now I've picked a font style, which was Optima. I made my font 30, and then I went down to my line spacing and increased the spacing between my lines just to fill up that space. Again, remember, you want your poem to be as big as it can be to fit into the space. It just helps the reader that's going to be reading it just that much easier for them to read it. Then once I finished typing it, I made it big, I'm going to click right in front of the word by. See the cursor flashing right here? And then I'm just going to hit my space bar and move my by line, my name, over to the right. Now, the next thing that I want to do is I want to fill this box that's in the back. So I have to be careful. I have to change this little shape that's right down here on the bottom side of my screen into an arrow. So as I slide it up, do you notice how it turns into an arrow? That allows me to click on that red line. Now this box is selected, and notice that immediately it opens up a style window. And it gives me some pre-designed styles, but I want you to look at this fill window. If I open the box where it says no fill, if I click and hold on that, I get some choices. Well, you're going to have choices between color fill, which just lets you put a color in. So now it immediately selected a blue. If I click on the color wheel right next to this blue color, it opens up a color wheel, and notice that it lets me change the color. Okay, so I'm going to close that color wheel, And I want to look at my other choice, which was the gradient fill. Those are your two choices for this project. The gradient fill gives me two colors to choose from. So I'm going to look at the top color first, and I'm going to click on the color wheel. And I know that my painting has a lot of browns and greens in it, so I want to pick some shades of browns and greens. So I'm going to go ahead and pick a green, but I know that it needs to be a darker shade of green because it was evergreen trees perhaps. So I'm going to go pretty dark, and then I want to look at the other color, and I'm going to try and find a shade of brown. So I'm going to take the slider back over so I can get into something that I think might be brown. As I move towards the right-hand side of my color wheel, it gets darker and darker. I like that shade of brown. So now I've got two colors. Now you could spend some time here deciding what you want here. I mean, it'll take a little bit of time getting used to it, but you just open the color wheel, pick your color, and close the color wheel and go to the other one. Now, right now, this box is outlined in a red border that was so you could see what you were working with. We're going to take that border off. So right down here where it says border and then you see a red line, we're going to hold down on the word line and choose no border. And now we have a nice box with my poem in it. However, now since I used fairly dark colors, my text might be a little hard to read. So I want to go back and lighten that text up. So now I want to get out of the box that's behind my text box, and I'm going to click on my text box. Notice it's a different box. When I click where the words are typed, you can see that the box where my text is. Well, I want to highlight my text, so I'm going to have to click after the last letter of my name till I see the cursor, and it's gray. It's a little hard to see, but it's that line that's flashing. That's your cursor. You're going to drag up and highlight your text once again. And then here's the color for your font. Everything right here has to do with your font. I'm going to click on the color wheel, and I'm going to lighten that up to a pretty light shade of white. Now you can pick any color, and for example, I'll try a yellow. I'm going to close my color wheel, click away from my box, and see if I like it. And it just so happens that I do. But if you don't, you can go back, click on your text box, get your cursor. Remember, you have to click once after the last letter, highlight backwards, go back to your color wheel, and find a color that you do like. So I'm going to try just a light shade of gray. Close my color wheel, click away, and yes, indeed, I do like it. I've spelled everything correctly. It's saying that my last name is misspelled, but it's okay, so I know I'm okay. I know I have the right syllables, the 575 for my haiku poem. So now I'm ready to print it and turn it into Mr. Robbins. So the last thing that you'll do when you get your poem finished is that you would need to raise your hand and let Mrs. Pilcher take a look at it, and then if she gives you the okay, you're going to go ahead and print. And she will take you through those steps. So once you have it done, go ahead and raise your hand, have Mrs. Pilcher come and check it, and then she will help you print it.